George Oduor na Mama Karen. Mimi George alikuwa rafiki yangu sana. Alikuwa ni mtu ambaye tulikuwa tunawasiliana kila siku kwa sababu ya anafanya kazi na kiongozi wetu baba Raila'S Odinga. Mimi nimetoka naye mbali. Wakati nilikuwa nimeingia siasa, nikiwa meya ndio nimejuana na yeye. Nimetembelea kwake nyumbani, tumepikiwa chakula na Mama Karen, tumekula kwake. Alikuwa mtu ambaye rafiki yangu sana na mtu ambaye namtambua kwa ukarimu sana. Ya pili, mheshimiwa wakubwa wenzangu, baba na president, ni ya kwamba George alikuwa ametusaidia sisi wenyewe akiwa kwa baba kisiasa. Unajua mheshimiwa rais, kwa siasa kuna thermometers ya kupima naye joto. Thermometer ya Kenyan politics vile unajua ni baba. Yeye ndio anaweka chini, yeye ndio anaweka juu. Yeye ndio anapima temperature ya siasa ya Kenya. Mheshimiwa rais, na ile thermometer tulikuwa tunatumia karibu na baba ilikuwa George. Unapigia George unauliza yeye, naweza ongea na baba saa hii? Unaona mood iko namna gani? Hali akisema George ngoja kwanza, unangoja. Sasa tumepoteza thermometer kubwa sana katika area ya baba. I will personally miss his charming voice. Akinipigia simu nikiwa bunge, ananiambia mheshimiwa mzee anakutafuta. He used to tell me like that, then I tried looking for baba after that. But having said, mheshimiwa rais, jambo la kwanza baba, mimi kama kiongozi huko National Assembly, nimesikia vile umeongea Mombasa. Tena nimesikia vile umeongea jana hapa Siaya. Kwa mambo ambaye najua unaipenda sana ya devolution. Sisi kama watu wa National Assembly, sasa tunaitisha ceasefire. Sisi tunataka kuacha sasa vita. Tumesikia vile umetoa amri kali. Tutasungumuza kichini chini. Tutaona vile tutafanya. Hata ile bill ya additional revenue allocation tutapitisha by Thursday, itaenda kwa president kupigwa sahihi. Tutapitisha. Hiyo vita nimeona inakuja ni kali sana, your excellency. Wacha tukwepe. Unajua ukiona mawimbi imetanda isikunyeshe, unaingia kwa nyumba haraka. Baba anasema sisi ndio tunaangamiza devolution kama watu wa National Assembly. Ati watu wa National Assembly hawataki mambo ya devolution. Nitaenda kuhubiri hiyo injili vizuri sana kuanzia Tuesday. Utaona Jonathan anaongea vingine, amebadilisha mdomo yake. Jambo la pili, your excellency, ni ya kwamba chama chetu cha ODM tarehe 7 iliyopita waliweka maktaba na chama ya UDA kuhusu mambo 10 ambayo inafaa ifanywe. Na hiyo mambo ni mambo ya kusaidia Kenya. Mambo ya inclusivity, constitutionalism, mambo ya kupeleka maendeleo kila tabaka ya Kenya. Your excellency, that is the way we want our country to go. People are worried about 2027, but there is life between now and 2027. There is service to the people between now and 2027. Na kuna watu ambaye wanapinga hiyo maneno. Na mimi jambo ya maana sana najivunia katika bunge kama minority leader, one of my biggest achievement was to impeach your deputy. Hiyo nimeandika kwa kitabu, nimefanya kazi ya maana sana kwa sababu yeye ndo alikuwa anaongoza hii mambo hii ya ubaguzi. Anasema hawa wana shareholding, hawa watu hame Kenya, waende Uganda. Sisi kama watu wa Migori aliweka sisi Tanzania, si hata hapa Kenya. Mimi wakati hiyo motion ilikuja, nilikuwa nasanya hata signatures usiku, sio mchana. Usiku nilikuwa natembea kwa nyumba za wabunge, weka mimi kidole hapa, hii mtu aende bana. Kwa sababu nchi hii saa hii yeye ndo anaongea kila pahali, anasema ati fulani anaonewa, fulani ameiba. Huyu ni mtu ambaye wakati tulikuwa tunafanya maandamano ya 2023 ya kupigania mambo ya cost of living na mambo ya uchaguzi na nini, alikuwa anaingia kwa ofisi yake saa 11 ili apambane na sisi. Hata jogo ya pili bado hajalia saa hiyo. Na hako kwa ofisi. Alikuwa anafanya nini kwa ofisi saa hiyo? Alikuwa anafanya nini kwa ofisi saa hiyo? Huyo mtu alikuwa mtu hatari katika nchi yetu. Saa hii mimi nikiona yeye analia kwa TV, mimi nafurahi sana. Naweka chai kwa kikombe nasema, "Waendelea kulia. Sisi pia tulilia zamani, waendelea kulia." Your Excellency, kitu moja umefanya pamoja na baba ni kusaidia sisi kulete Wakenya pamoja. Sisi saa hii tuko na chairman ya budget kwa bunge anaitwa Samatandi, tuko na Mbadi kwa treasury. Saa hii mimi ndio kama leader ya bunge ndio naangalia hawa vile wanafanya kazi, vile wamegawa mali na rasilimali ya Kenya. Zamani ilikuwa naona tu kwa view, sasa saa hii wana chairman ya health committee na report kwangu Dr. Nyikal, na uliza panga weka hospitali huko namna hii namna hii. Hiyo ndio ile Kenya tunataka, sio Kenya kubagua wengine na wengine wanakula. Kwa kumalizia, Your Excellency, mimi nataka, juzi niliangalia budget. Juzi mimi mwenyewe niliangalia. Miaka 2 iliyopita 2021 na 2022 kuna barabara 1400 kilometers new roads were started through the taxes of Kenyans. 970 kilometers were assigned to one region. Sisi tumeona barabara kilomita 45 peke yake hapa Nyanza yote 45, is it 32 kilometers. Na anaweza kubali, na ushuru kisanywa inasanywa kwa kila mtu, haibaguliwi. Waseme watu fulani msitoe ushuru kwa sababu maendeleo haikuji kwenu, inasanywa kwa kila mtu. Si nyinyi mnalipa ushuru? Hii mambo ya ubaguzi ya kugawa rasilimali ya nchi lazima ikome na lazima ikwishe katika nchi yetu. Na mtu yeyote atakuwa na tabia kama ya Rigathi Gachagua, impeachment inakuja. Uwe minister, uwe deputy ingine, uwe sijui nani, wembe ni ule tu. Sasa tunataka mambo ya Wakenya kukuja pamoja. Kila region ya nchi yetu wapate maendeleo. Kila 47 counties yote wapate maendeleo. Kwa hiyo machache, Your Excellency, sasa mambo nimeona experts yetu iko hapo. Mambo ni broad based. Hapa mbele tutaona vile mambo itaenda. Mungu akubali. Asante sana. Mungu abariki.
Yeah. Hello. Asante, Honorable Junet. Allow me now, and with profound apologies, Your Excellency, in this region, we are ODM, the oldest party and the biggest party in East and Central Africa. So let me call the Secretary General of this party to speak to us briefly.
Haya, asanteni sana. Mheshimiwa Rais, Mheshimiwa William Ruto, Mheshimiwa my party leader, kiongozi wangu Baba Raila Amolo Odinga, familia ya ndugu yetu George kiongozwa na Mama Karen, wote ambao mmefika hapa na wasalimu kwa jina la Yesu Kristo, hamjambo. Mheshimiwa Rais, mimi ndio Sifuna. Ukiangalia ngoja kwanza. Ukiangalia hapa mbele, huyu muungwana amelala, amefunikwa na bendera ya chama cha ODM. Nataka nikuambie Mheshimiwa Junet, mimi ni mtu mdogo, lakini kiti ambacho nimekalia ni kikubwa sana. Kiti cha katibu mkuu wa chama lazima kiheshimiwe. Na ndio kwa maana tumechukua hiyo bendera, tumefunika huyo mwanachama. Sio kila mtu wa ODM akifariki huwa tunafunika hiyo bendera. Ni heshima kubwa ambaye tunamtunuku ndugu yetu George. Mheshimiwa Baba, jinsi ambavyo nilizungumza tukiwa kule Nairobi, mimi nilisema nimejua George kwa sababu ya ukaribu wako na wewe na kwa kufanya kazi pamoja na wewe. Ukiangalia security situation around Raila Odinga, I don't think there is a security situation that swings as wildly from one extreme to another kama security situation ya baba. Mtaamka asubuhi, mnakunywa chai huko London na watu wa diplomacy, mnasalimia marais Addis Ababa. Saa 8 inatakana uingize Raila katika uwanja ya Kamukunji. Imejaa watu wanapiga kelele, wanapenda Mheshimiwa Raila Odinga, na hiyo mapenzi ni hatari hata kwa baba mwenyewe. Halafu siku ingine inahitajika umtoe kule Embakasi South akipigwa tear gas na risasi, uhakikishe kwamba amefika kwa mama Aida akiwa mzima. That is how wild the security situation around Raila Odinga swings. And this gentleman you see here, he did it with a lot of grace. Na tunataka tuseme kwa niaba ya chama cha ODM, poleni sana kwa kumpoteza George. Kama katibu nina majukumu ya kikatiba chini ya chama cha ODM. Nataka mpe huyu ndugu yetu 3 salute. Nikisema ODM, mnasema tuko tayari, ndio George ajue amezingirwa na marafiki wake. ODM! 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 Asante sana. Sasa Joji, sisi tunasema apumzike kwa amani. Mheshimiwa Raila, mimi unanipa majukumu pale kama katibu wako. Junet amesema yake, hata mimi na yangu. Mimi nilikuwepo pale tukiandikisha mkataba na chama cha UDA. Na huo mkataba kuna mambo inazungumzia. Baba, watu wetu hawa walienda uchaguzi wa chama Kenya nzima. Na nataka niwashukuru wana ODM kwa sababu mlifanya uchaguzi kwa amani. Kulikuwa na sehemu chache ambazo zilikuwa na shida, lakini tutarekebisha. Lakini Mheshimiwa Raila, wiki moja kabla tufanye huu uchaguzi, nilipokea barua kutoka kwa msajili wa vyama. Msajili wa vyama ananiambia amekata bajeti ya chama cha ODM kwa shilingi milioni 42. Inafanya kazi yetu kama viongozi wa chama kuwa ngumu sana. Na huo mkataba tuliandikisha ulikuwa unasema, Mheshimiwa Rais, kwamba tuheshimu sheria ikiwemo sheria ya vyama. Mimi nataka kukuomba, kwa sababu tumeambiwa ati siku hizi treasury inalala sindo. Sijui chairman ya budget ako hapa ni mtu ya ODM. Mheshimiwa Junet, wakati unaangalia hiyo mabudget, tafadhali wekea wanachama wa ODM pesa yao chini ya sheria vile ambavyo inahitajika. Jambo la pili Mheshimiwa Raila, chini ya huo mkataba tulisema county zetu zipate 450 billion Kenya shillings. Nimesikia fununu Junet, nyinyi mnapendekeza kwenye National Assembly 405. Tulisema 450, sio 405. Tafadhali kaa urekebishe hapo, mambo itakuwa sawa. Ya mwisho Mheshimiwa Rais, Bishop ametuambia hapa kwamba kazi yako ni ngumu sana. Na mimi nakubaliana naye, hata mimi saa nyingine huwa najiuliza vile wewe unalala. Lakini kuna zingine Mheshimiwa Rais, wanasema Waswahili, mwiba wa kujidunga hauambiwi pole. Kuna watu kwa serikali yako kazi yao ni kushika handball kila siku. Sasa kama hii drama yote tumeona Nakuru, ati watoto wanakatazwa kufanya mchezo, sijui wanapigwa tear gas, sijui wanafukuzwa. Hiyo ni mwiba wa kujidunga Mheshimiwa Rais. Wale ambao wanahusika na kufanya kazi yako ikuwe ngumu, read them the riot act, kwa sababu tunajua kazi yako ni ngumu zaidi, wasifanye ikuwe ngumu zaidi. Kwa hayo mengi nasema asanteni sana na Mungu amlaze George mahali pema peponi.
Asante, thank you SG Sifuna. Allow me, Your Excellency, to thank the security forces, the police in this region, from the region to the county to the sub-county, have done a splendid job, not just today, but since George died. We want to thank them. Here we have formal security and informal security. They are friends of Raila who come from far, including Mike Makerena all the way from Meru. We recognize you. Allow me now to invite the only orphan in this region, the youth leader, the Senator of Siaya, Honorable Dr. Oburu Oginga, to come and render his eulogy. Ilungeni Atar.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Your Excellency, Honorable Raila Odinga, the Prime Minister, and all protocols observed. I have sat for a long time, so I don't want to speak much. What I want to say is that this man lying here was a great man. He was a very, very great man. Because I can tell you, the man he was taking care of, called Raila Odinga, is not a very easy person to take care of. He is not a very easy person to take care of. I can tell you as his elder brother, Raila is very tough. And he likes discipline. He likes discipline, and I can assure you that if you are around him and you are not disciplined, his left hand is very fast in. and you will not take long around him. You will not take long around him. And George, who is lying here, was my friend. I knew him in 1992 when he was in the Ajip house with my dad. But I knew him more in 1994 when Jaramogi passed on. He is among the youth who came to campaign for me under very difficult circumstances. KANU was pouring money, in Bondo was pouring money and also food. It was during famine time. And Your Excellency, those people were very, very aggressive. I know you were there, so you know. You know that Odongo Mamo came with gunias of money, bags of money, and also food. I was a poor civil servant. I had just come from being the provincial planning officer in Kakamega, and I came in to Bondo without expecting to contest any seat as a member of parliament. And I had no money. And even my brother Raila did not give me money. He was a member of parliament. Nobody gave me money, but Oduor came. And he was with Nyam Nyam and others, and Agunyo, Wakina Agunyo. I can see them, those ones you call veterans. They came for us, to campaign for us in Webuye and here. And I can assure you, it was not an easy struggle, and they managed to go through that fierce force of KANU, and I managed to win the elections by landslide. By landslide. And Oduor, I can tell you people, if you didn't know, that he was more than security to Raila. He was more than security. He was like a brother, and he knew everything. He knows, you know, what security knows what is ailing you, what security knows what is how you think. The security would judge Raila and even be very sensitive. When Raila wants to do something, he would actually just make sure that that thing is done very fast. And I want to ask the Almighty God to put his great soul to rest. And finally, Your Excellency, I want to say one thing, that this country has a democratic system where we do elections every 5 years. We do elections every 5 years. But we cannot have a situation where we are agitating, standing up and saying, Ruto must go, Ruto must go. If he goes, so what? If he goes, so what? He can go like the president of Siad Barre of Somalia went, and there was chaos in that country. There was complete chaos in that. Up to today, Somalia does not know peace. And we don't want our country to suffer that. We want our country to be peaceful. We want to stabilize it. And that is the reason why we joined you, Your Excellency, when we were actually the ones carrying out what Gen Z was doing. We want to encourage this country to be peaceful, and we are going to work. And those our friends who think otherwise, they should also continue to think otherwise, and we remain friends with them, but they should know that as ODM we have decided to work in this broad-based government, and we have lent you people to work with you. But, Your Excellency, what I would like to appeal for, please make sure that our region gets its fair share of development. Let us get our fair share of development, and those people who think that we are taking their share from the mountain, we are not taking your share. Kenya is so big, and we are only eating our share. Mr. President, give us our share, not theirs. If they want to come, let them come. So, So, Madam President, I don't want to say more. Thank you very much for the opportunity, and may the Almighty God rest Oduor's body in peace, and also have everlasting peace for his family. Thank you, Karen, and thank you, everyone.
The only orphan in East and Central Africa has spoken. Thank you, Dr. Buru. On behalf of all the workers in the Republic of Kenya, allow me to invite the Secretary General of KOTU, Francis Atwoli, to say a word.
Thank you very much. Nitakuwa kwa ufupi sana kwa ajili wakati umeenda. Rais na mheshimiwa shemegi yangu the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga na waheshimiwa wote, mimi nataka kuwa kwa ufupi sana. Jambo la kwanza, nataka kushukuru wewe rais kwa kupata time kuja kwa mazishi ya George. Mimi nimepata nafasi ya kuserve presidents wa Kenya wote since independence. Nimeona serikali ya Kenyatta, mzee founding father of this nation. Nimeona serikali ya Moi, baada tulikaa naye 24 years. Nimeona serikali ya Kibaki, nimeona serikali ya Uhuru, na nimeona serikali yako. Na labda serikali yako ndio mimi nitaserve ya mwisho, na alafu nirudi kule Huisera. Nataka kusema hivi, sio wote kwa hawa ma president nimeona moja angelikuja matanga kama ya George. To be honest with you, I want to thank you very much for that. Kumpa Raila Amolo Odinga heshima ya kuja kwa matanga ya assistant wake. Na pia sisi tulikuwa katika Azimio vile unavyojua. Nilikuwa karibu sana na George. George is a terrible security organizer. Kuna wakati tulienda pahala, kuna upinzani ya watu wawili na wote ni watu wetu, na fujo imetokea, kuna yuko mtu pale katika dais, watu wote wameondoka. Mimi ndio nilienda kuambia Mheshimiwa Raila, hapa nafikiria hatutakuwa na mkutano hapa, iko fujo. Raila akaita George. George akasema nipe 2 minutes. 2 minutes, George had organized, everything was okay. Mkutano ikafanywa na ikaisha. Najua shemegi yangu kupata mtu kama huyo haitakuwa rahisi, lakini mama Karen, wewe umepoteza sana pia kuliko sisi zote. Mwisho nataka kuongea maneno Daktari Oburu amesema. Kuna mzungu mmoja amekuja juzi kule Mbakasi. Huyu mzungu kuingia kwa taxi, yule driver wa taxi anamwambia Ruto must go. Ruto must go. Mzungu anamuuliza, me am a businessman, I've come here, I have a chemical branch of my organization, where do you want me to go? Because mzungu ajui ni yeye anaambiwa he must go. Mimi nataka kuuliza wa Kenya, wacha tujaribu kuwa patriotic, tupende nchi hii. Maneno ikiharibika katika, na mimi nataka kushukuru shemegi yangu Raila Amolo Odinga. Kufanya kazi na serikali sio kusema you have compromised your principles. Nchi hii ni kubwa. I'm appealing to Kenyans, ni lazima tuje pamoja tulinde nchi hii. Na pia nimesikia katibu mkuu wa chama chetu cha ODM akisema maneno ya watoto wa huko kwangu. Pia ningeliomba nyinyi politicians, let us not mix politics with our young children. Tuache watoto wasome. Ukiwa ukitaka siasa, fanya na adults, usiende kwa watoto. Chanzi sana, pumbavu sana. Ninataka kuachia hapo. Nasema poleni sana. Thank you very much.
Hello. Asante ndugu Atwoli. We have, Your Excellency, 2 of your cabinet secretaries here present. We have the cabinet secretary responsible for East African affairs, the Honorable Beatrice Askul. And we have the cabinet secretary responsible for energy from our very own county, the Honorable Opiyo Wandayi. Allow me to invite the Honorable Opiyo Wandayi to handle this part. Waziri, karibu.
Your Excellency, the President, Daktari William Samoei Ruto, na hiyo mvua ni ishara ya baraka kubwa sana. Your Excellency, Prime Minister Raila Odinga, Mama Karen, and fellow mourners, I will be extremely brief. But before I proceed, allow me to introduce my sister, the Cabinet Secretary for East Africa Community, ASAL, and Regional Development, the Honorable Beatrice Askul. Aje tu hapa mbele awasalimie.
Mheshimiwa Rais wa Jamhuri wa Kenya, Mheshimiwa Prime Minister ambaye ni baba, mama mjane Karen, waombolezaji wote, wanasiasa walioko, God is good and all the time. Mimi naitwa Beatrice Askul, ni Cabinet Secretary wa East Africa Community Affairs, ASAL and Regional Development. Kwa hivyo niko mahali hapa nikitoka kwa kaunti ya Turkana. Kwa hivyo nimeleta maombolezi zetu na baraka za Mungu kwamba yale yametendeka tukubali kwamba yalitendeka kwa sababu ni mapenzi ya Mungu. Tuko hapa kwa sababu pia babangu mlezi kisiasa ni Raila Amolo Odinga. Kwa hivyo nimekuja kusimama na familia yake kwa sababu huyu ni mmoja ya wale walikuwa na yeye katika undani wa kutenda kazi. Kwa hivyo tuna majukumu tukipitia kwa kiongozi wetu wa serikali ambaye pia ni baba yetu katika uongozi wa serikali. Hapa tuwe pamoja, tuomboleze mambo haya, tukitiana pia nguvu kwamba ni Mungu pekee uweza kutenda mambo haya. Juu hatuna uwezo kama binadamu, ni mpito ya kila na mmoja. Kwa hivyo watu wa Siaya, Mungu awape nguvu sana, awatie sana nguvu familia yake na watoto ya George. Mimi nilimjua George back 2004. Wakati tulikuja kujua baba Raila Amolo. Na mara kwa mara alikuwa anatuleta karibu. Nakumbuka siku moja wakati baba alikuwa Prime Minister. Ikawa kwamba kuna mlolongo hapo kupata baba si rahisi. Ikawa kwamba nimekuja na Mheshimiwa Imana kutoka Turkana. Wakati huo nilikuwa Secretary General wa chama kwa county. Mheshimiwa Imana alikuwa chama. Ikawa ngumu sisi kupata baba. Ikawa kwamba tumetext message kwa baba kwamba sisi tumetoka Turkana, tulifika hapa saa 3 asubuhi mpaka saa hizi hatujawahi kukupata. Baba alipata hiyo message around saa 5. Na mara moja tulikuwa pale chini kwa reception pale. Tulipata mtu ametumwa mara moja kutuchukua. Na I am assuring you wakati huo mwenye alitumwa ni George. Na tangu George ajue sisi amekuwa akitupatia all the time access wa baba. Ndio nikajua kwamba ni mmoja pia ya wale wanatii sheria za baba kwa watu wake. Kwa hivyo nilimjua wakati huo tukafanya kazi mpaka sasa. Baba pole sana. Wacha Mungu akutie nguvu. Mungu akuwezeshe. Ninajua mambo haya ni mapito ya kila na mmoja. Kwa hivyo siwezi ongea mengi. Mungu awabariki wanasiaya. Mungu awalinde. Your Excellency the President, we are here because you are here. Thank you so much.
Asante sana dada yangu Mheshimiwa Beatrice Askul. In our midst we have a number of national government officials, and especially those who come from this region. They will not speak. I will just ask them to be upstanding so that you may know them. And they are led by my good friend and brother P.S. Raymond Omolo of Internal Security. Thank you very much, Daktari. We have got Dr. Umo Luga, a nominee for PS Medical Services. That is my good Vranda. Aya. Asante sana. Who else is there? We have got the chairman of the Kenya Sugar Board, who is also the son of the soil, Mheshimiwa Engineer Nicholas Gumbo. And Remuneration Committee, Mr. Oduor Jalango Midiwo, and many others, many others. Let me say this, and very briefly so, because as it is customary, as cabinet secretaries, we don't make speeches in the presence of the president. But let me say this, that the man lying there was a great man. Because a lot has been said about George, which I can confirm is true. I knew George in 1991, when I was a young university student in Nairobi. And George, amongst other colleagues of his, were then the youth of Baba and of course Jaramogi Oginga Odinga. So we worked very closely with George and his compatriots, those of us who are from the university as students, and George and his compatriots, whom I would have referred to as the combatants in the then movement. We consider ourselves as the think tank. But we worked very closely together. We had a very seamless blending. Very seamless blending. This George was a very calm person. But earlier on, he was very aggressive. I think in his earlier days. And very alert. I remember one day, Your Excellency, when we were in Thika Stadium, that was sometime in 1996, as members of Ford Kenya, then. The infamous Ford Kenya meeting at Thika Stadium, when there were divisions in the party, and we found ourselves in Thika, trying to resolve the stalemate. We were faced by a very aggressive group that had obvious support of the police. And on our side, we remained extremely vulnerable. Together with Baba and the rest. George, on that particular day, demonstrated utmost bravery and actually saved the day, because otherwise a lot of damage would have been done. Fast forward, Your Excellency, I found myself with George. You know, those days when you were youth, under Baba, being arrested was customary, was normal. You would be arrested every other day. But one time, Your Excellency, I think that was now in 1997, when we were clamoring for reforms as young people, and under Baba and his compatriots. I found myself arrested together with George. And we spent with him almost 10 days at Kilimali police station. Those days, there was no time limit for being incarcerated in police station. You could even stay there forever, under the old constitution. We stayed with George for about 10 days at Kilimani. Later on, we found ourselves in Kamukunji police station, and eventually, we found ourselves in Kamiti, where we stayed with George alongside other comrades of his, like Lumumba Wade, who spoke here earlier on. In Kamiti, Your Excellency, we stayed for about 5 months with George. And George remained very firm, very firm and committed. One thing I want to say is that most of us who have worked closely under Baba, those of us who have been through the Baba School of Mentorship. One thing we have been taught is to maintain confidentiality. One thing we have been taught under Baba is to maintain confidentiality and to keep secrets. Your Excellency, these days I get surprised when people come out and say, oh, when I was serving is something to those of us who have been brought up and mentored by Baba. Because we have been taught that you must maintain confidentiality. You must maintain confidentiality. Your Excellency, let me say this, that as we send off George today, we must appreciate the gains that we have made as a country. As a country. And I must thank Baba Raila Amolo Odinga, for accepting to work closely with you, Your Excellency, to unite this country. Your Excellency, to unite this country. Your Excellency, where you sit, rest assured that Baba has got our collective mandate as the people of this region to assist you to unite this country. And that from where we sit, Your Excellency, there is no turning back. That we are working with you and we are doing this to the end. To the end. We are doing this because we know that the country is much bigger than any one of us. Your Excellency, under your leadership, and I must say this here, it is the first time in the history of this country, since we gained independence, that we are seeing electricity being taken to our islands on Lake Victoria. Your Excellency, recently you came here and launched a serious mini-grid electrification project at Mageta Island. Here. Later on, I represented you in commissioning electricity projects in Ngode Island and Takawiri Island. Your Excellency, in this coming budget, we are planning to ensure, working closely with my brother John Mbadi and Mheshimiwa Samatandi, to ensure that we put in place mechanisms to extend electricity to Ndeda Island, to Oyamo Island, and to Sifu Island in Central Sakwa, here in Siaya County. And not to forget that we are also just about to open a tender to take electricity to Kiwa Island and Kibuagi Island in Suba South, Your Excellency. So these are happening because, as I conclude, Your Excellency, don't be threatened by anything or anybody. And those who are shouting, Ruto must go, I want to tell you, he is going nowhere. Oh, come on. He is going nowhere as long as Baba Raila Amolo Odinga continues to work with him. And we are all behind them. Your Excellency. Your Excellency, in this region, we are not known to be double speakers. We say what we believe in and we do what we say. We have said in one accord that we are in this government of yours as a people, and we want to continue in that manner. Kwa hayo na machache, asanteni sana na Mwenyezi Mungu abariki. May George's soul rest in eternal peace. Asanteni sana.
Thank you, Waziri Wandai, for those words. You know, my own session is now coming to a close. So allow me on behalf of the people of Rarieda, now that we have the attention of His Excellency the President, to say only three things. First of all, Your Excellency, in these grounds where we are mourning George Oduor, but we've been mourning in recent days. In this very school where we are, 2 students lost their lives barely 2 weeks ago when they were on top of a cistern or a pit that sank, and in fact they are being buried today. So we mourn with their families. In this very school, Your Excellency, only about a week ago, we had a funeral ceremony for 5 ladies. 5 ladies. 5 ladies who lost their lives again just in the local village when they were mining gold. And we appealed, and I've already met the CS in charge of mines, Waziri Joho, and the PS, to ask that they help us enhance the safety in terms of that. Your Excellency, the Ramba school that is mourning requested me to request, and I am merely a servant, that you may find it in your heart that if you want to donate something to this school, their biggest problem is a dining hall. They have many problems, but most of the others I'll deal with. They have a capacity of about 2,500. The dining hall that they have built about 30 years ago can only accommodate 800. Akwayo kutoka Akwayo. Secondly, Your Excellency, there's a very small portion of a very small road that was unable to be completed before your time. It is called Akado Kamito Road, just 4.8 kilometers. It has now taken 6 years, just 4.8 kilometers, Your Excellency. We plead that you might find it, not just to complete it, but once it gets to a place of Assembly Bay, and you know Assembly Bay, Your Excellency, we've been there with you. When you continue now, past Luak, then you go to the Right Honorable's home. That's 11 kilometers. So we request not that you just complete the 4.8, but you now connect it, so that when you come to visit your friend, the Right Honorable Prime Minister, you can choose not to go through Ndori, but you go through Kalandin. Dakupa Munbe. Lastly, Your Excellency, is affordable housing. Your Excellency, in this constituency, we are yet to get any affordable housing. But I've spoken to PS Hinga, and I've requested that for us here, our top priority is accommodation for students. We are yet to get any affordable housing. But I've spoken to PS Hinga, and I've requested that for us here, you see, there's Agok campus of Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, there's Bwaja TTC, and lastly, there's Nyakongo campus of the Kisumu National Polytechnic. Our humble request is, may you find it in your heart to prioritize building students' hostels as our form of affordable houses. Akwayo kutoka Akwayo. Secondly, I want to support Honorable Junet. And we want to assure you, Your Excellency, and the Right Honorable Prime Minister, that as one of those who crafted the Constitution, I fully support a situation where we realize the full fruits of devolution. And therefore, if things are stuck in the National Assembly, I will be the first to support Junet to unlock it. But we equally plead with you, Your Excellency, and the Right Honorable Prime Minister, that there's this other thing called CDF, NGCDF. Hii pia msitunyang'anye jameni. Hata ukiangalia hii shule, it is shining courtesy of CDF. I agree that members of parliament have no business involving themselves in the details of CDF, including construction. Lakini at the end of the day, CDF to konyo, kozo konyo. Uye no, okonyo kozo kokonyo. Koro CDF to beda, and manani, we have to be careful. We ensure that it is restricted to the functions of national government, and the member of parliament has no business dealing with it. Awacho kozo kawacho. Lastly, I want to apologize to you, Your Excellency. Only 2.5 years ago, we were adversaries because as an advocate and a senior counsel, I acted on instructions. I had my client, the Right Honorable Prime Minister, who instructed me through my leader, Senior Counsel James Orengo, to challenge your win. And we did challenge it, and you know that. And you know, when we are there, we are kind of different. We don't talk the way we are talking here. But the Supreme Court said that was all hot air. And we accepted. So, Your Excellency, we accepted, therefore, because we were saying the government would be Raila Amolo Odinga. But the Supreme Court said the government is William Samoei Ruto. Adier koto kadier. Therefore, you are the government. I thank you for accommodating us in your government. And the distinction therefore is, we are not the government, but we are in government, courtesy of your accommodation. We are in government because we have donated experts like Opio and I to work with you. And we thank you for that. Uwinjo gimawacho kuzo kuwinjo. Awacho niya. Kikngato wachni wan e sirikal. Lakini wan e sirikal. Uwinja kuzo kuwinja. And for that reason, we beg that you give a little leeway to Waziri Wandai, Waziri Mbadi, Waziri Askul and others. Because in this region, we have suffered discrimination for 60 years. So Dr. Buru said that give everyone their due. But you know, if you get two children, one who is already full and the other is hungry, you can't give them equally. The one who's hungry unapatia mingi kidogo by way of what's called affirmative action. So hata Wandai, Mbadi na wengine wakifanya affirmative action, Your Excellency, uangalie tu na macho ya upole. Awajo kutoka wacho. Allow me now to invite the Governor of Siaya, His Excellency James Agri Orengo, to take over from here.
Hello? 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 Ero kamano. Now, we have a very short period and it is raining, so we want to make this bit as quickly as possible. And Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Your Excellency Raila'S Odinga, Mama Karen and the family and the leadership that are here. Now it is my role to call upon a few people to speak, but I'll start by calling upon Honorable Wajakoya, 1 minute only, and then I'll call the governors.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, my Prime Minister, Honorable Raila'S Odinga, Governor Orengo, Governor Baraza, Governor Tuoma, Governor, my friend from Migori, Professor Nyang' Nyong', and the area MP. This is the first time I'm meeting this man, Ruto, after the election. I wish you had called me before, maybe stories would have been different. But let me take this opportunity to tell you that had I won the presidency, maybe I could have been the one talking here. But I congratulate you for your good work. The only thing I have to say, because I've been given 2 minutes, I will say two things. Number one, devolution. Governors are suffering. Governors do not have money. The monies have not been sent to these people. Governors are borrowing to pay their employees. Governors are really being faced with the problem of not paying contractors. Please release money for devolution. That devolution was brought by the Right Honorable Raila'S Odinga. Secondly, I would like you, Mr. President, and I recognize you, I would like you that when you go back home today, I want you to think the way I would have thought if I was the president. Go and call Butere girls and their principal to State House, have tea with them. Tell them thank you, and then visit their school, harmonize relationship with the school kids. Otherwise, watoto wadogo saa hizi wanakuchukia because of the mistake that was done by your juniors. Correct them. You are my president. You have the sword of power, and you can lead the country if you have both of us. Madam George, Madam Chi George, it's George that made me closer to Jacom. There are some people who had blocked me, and I've stayed with Jacom in Britain. I've stayed with Jacom's family, including the sister in UK. But when I came back, there was that buffer zone. It is this man who made me see Jacom, and then we blossomed. Finally, Governor Orengo, Inosiepna. Orengo, you have played a big role in my education. Orengo, you have played a big role in democratization of this country. Orengo, you have played a big role in doing what you have. May I take this opportunity to go and sit down to thank Baba. If you did not do what you did, this country would have burned. But we don't want to burn this country, Mr. President. I want you to go and tell Farouk and group, waambie wakae chini. Because this country is bigger than them. You are my president. Then I'll come and have tea with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now it is my honor and privilege to call the governors to come here and introduce themselves. Time is not on our side. Can I start with the order in which you are sitting? Governor Baraza, Governor Otuoma, Governor Ochilo, Governor Anyang' Nyong'o, and Governor Gladys Wanga.
Mheshimiwa Rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya, Daktari William Samoei Ruto, kinara wetu wa chama cha ODM, Baba Raila Amolo Odinga, itifaki zote zikizingatiwa. Bwana asifiwe. Kwanza kabisa, Mheshimiwa Rais, niruhusu nitambue mfalme wa the Wanga Kingdom ambaye kwa hapa, Honorable Peter Nabongo, amekuja kuwa na sisi hapa. Pia niruhusu nitambue Kakamega Council of Elders ambao wamekuja hapa kwa siku ya leo kuomboleza ndugu yetu. Wasimame tafadhali, na MCS wa Kakamega pia msimame, MCA 20. Asante. Kwa niaba ya wana Kakamega wote, mimi nimekuja hapa kuleta pole zetu kwa ndugu yetu na familia ya ndugu yetu George Oduor, ikiongozwa na mama mjane, Mama Karen, na pia Baba Raila Amolo Odinga. George mimi nilimjua, na tumepoteza jemedari ambaye amedhihirisha wazi ya kwamba as a security wa Baba Raila Amolo Odinga, you must be loyal. My brother George apumzike kwa amani. Jambo la pili, Mheshimiwa Rais, mimi nashukuru sana kwa niaba ya wana Kakamega wote vile mlitia mkataba na Raila Amolo Odinga ili tuweze kueneza maendeleo katika gatuzi zote 47. Na leo my brother Junet amesema ya kwamba atakuwa mstari wa mbele kutetea pesa zije katika gatuzi zetu 47. Kwa niaba ya magavana wote, mimi kama mwenyekiti wa kamati ya fedha, nashukuru sana ule mkataba ambao ulitilia mkazo pesa za kuja hapa katika gatuzi 47, shilingi bilioni 450. Na mimi niko na imani ya kwamba wabunge kuwekelea mkono hizo pesa zitakuja hapa. Mwisho kabisa, kwa niaba ya wana Kakamega wote, nataka kusema kwamba sisi tuko imara na tunaunga mkono serikali ya mapana na marefu, yani broad based government. Asanteni sana na Mungu awabariki.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Rais, Mheshimiwa Waziri Mkuu, waombolezaji wote wakiongozwa na Mama Karen. Wacha pia mimi kwa niaba ya watu wa Busia ambao wamekuja hapa, mnaweza simama tu mpunge mkono, najua kuna waheshimiwa wako pale nyuma. Asanteni sana Karen. Hao wote, wacha pia mimi kwa niaba ya watu wa Busia ambao wamekuja hapa, mnaweza simama tu. Wale wamekuwa karibu na mzee, wengi mumetambua kwamba kupitia katika George huyu amekuwa pia kama mmoja wetu, kwa sababu huwezi kuwa kwamba ulikuwa karibu na mzee na ukose kumjua George. Yetu ya mwisho ya George, kwa mama nitasema tu pole. Mimi pia nimemjua George zaidi ya miaka 20 na kitu, na yangu ya mwisho nakumbuka aliniita tukitoka mambo ya broad based, akaniita kwenda kwa mzee, kwa baba, kwamba kuja hapa kwa baba kidogo baada ya kutia ile sahihi, na nafikiria ndiyo ilikuwa siku yangu ya mwisho. So George, fare thee well, may the Almighty God rest your soul in eternal peace. Ya mwisho, Mheshimiwa Rais, mimi tu pia nitasema, najua nchi yetu inapitia changamoto, lakini wale wazungumzaji ambao wamezungumza hapa, ni majukumu yetu kama viongozi kutatua shida zetu. Hatuwezi kusema kwamba tutazungumzia tu hizi shida ni kama kuna mtu mwingine atakuja kutatua. So vile tumesema kwamba Kenya ni yetu wote, na tukasema kazi ifanywe pamoja, haimaanishi vile watu wamezungumza hapa kusema kwamba ile maadili umekuwa nayo umeitupilia mbali. Ni kusema tu tutaweza weka mikono yetu pamoja vipi so that tuweze kufanya nchi yetu bora kwa sisi wote. So Wandai umezungumuza, na mimi nitasema tu, unajua ile mambo iko hapa Siaya ndio iko Busia. Mambo ya Ring Road ilikuwa almost the last 20 years haijafanywa, na hata ilikuwa imeshawekwa kandarasi. Shida zile za industrialization kule kwetu ndio tuko nazo. So tutatamani tu vile tunafanya kazi pamoja, that let it work for all Kenyans, including us there who are in Busia. Asanteni sana, Mungu wabariki.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Dr. William Ruto, Your Excellency, the Right Honorable Raila Odinga, on my own behalf and on behalf of the good people of Migori, I bring my condolence to the family of George, to Baba, and to all Kenyans and the patriots who have lost a great person. Your Excellency, the President of Kenya, not many people know why Baba is called the People's President. Baba is called the People's President because of the love that the people have for Baba. But the People's President needs security. And that security, if the People's President is not the national president, is not given by the state. It is this great person lying here called George that developed the network of civilian securities who always secure Baba. In Migori, where we come from, George had a wide network of young people who are always and will always be protective of Baba. Baba, you have lost a true friend, a true security person who is much better than the official security that will always be offered to you. We have come here to support you. We have come here to support all of us. Finally, Baba, hii miujiza mmefanya pamoja na rais wa Kenya called broad-based government. This is the greatest thing. On my part, I have been around when we had KANU, tulikuwa na vita sana. I have been around when we had other parties. This understanding that you have brought and given to us as Kenyans has enabled us to sit everywhere, anywhere, including in funerals, na tulie na tuomboleze kama jamii moja. Continue it, and we hope in 2027 we'll continue like this. May God bless all of us. Asanteni sana.
The President of the Republic of Kenya, His Excellency Samoei Ruto, the Prime Minister Raila'S Odinga, the family of George, Mama Karen and the family, I bring you poleni sana for the loss of George. I bring you greetings from Kisumu County and from my wife Dorothy, who could have been here but has another function, who brings condolences to the family. I just want to tell you two things. George was a gate to reaching the Prime Minister. Maybe it was only me whom he gave so much confidence, but whenever I called the Prime Minister and I couldn't find him, I could call George. Then George could say, Professor, wait a minute. Let me see whether I can pass this phone to the Prime Minister. And that was the confidential relationship I think George had with the Prime Minister. When he knew when there was somebody who wanted to reach him urgently, he had the confidence of passing his own phone to the Prime Minister. I thank the Prime Minister for that kind of relationship with George, because it made it easier for us to access him when he had meetings and very important things to attend to when we wanted to reach him. So I thank you very much. I thank George for the service he gave us as those who work with you and the confidence he had in us. Finally, Mr. President, I know those of us who are governors are in charge of health. The Constitution of Kenya gives a health function to counties. And we have been having some problems of health, especially the SHA. But let me assure you, Mr. President, we are meeting in the Council of Governors on Monday with your team to discuss these problems and to bring to the government tangible issues that need to be attended to for issues that concern SHA and the health system in general in our country. We shall meet on Monday and you will get the information subsequently from your officers. We thank you very much for paying attention to that. And let me end by saying, poleni sana Jondori, poleni sana Josiah, poleni sana the family, Molu, such an important person like George, who was a good friend, a good comrade, and a good supporter of us, as ODM and as those who have struggled with Raila for so many years. Thank you very much, and may God bless you.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Your Excellency, the Prime Minister of the Republic of Kenya, the Church and the family of the late George Oduor that we are sending off today. Wananchi wapendwa, hamjambo. First, as the national chairman of the ODM party, allow me to recognize all the ODM party officials right from polling station mpaka NEC. Nataka msimame mpunge mkono wale ambao wamechaguliwa katika chama cha ODM. Asanteni, mketi chini. Ambao wamechaguliwa katika chama and the entire Jaramogi family, tunasema pole sana for the loss of and the entire Jaramogi family, tunasema pole sana for the loss of George. George was distinct and he treated everybody equally. Alikuwa imesemwa sana, lakini jambo moja ambayo nitaongezea ambayo labda sijasikia ikisemwa, he was also a very consummate community developer. Mimi nilikuwa governor kule Homa Bay, where Karen comes from. Yeye ni Nyakindu, anaishi huko Suba. The last conversation we had with George ilikuwa kusupport kanisa huko Lambwe kwa family ya kina Karen. He supported the community and community projects. And walikuwa hapa, UDA walikuwa pale, na walituzungumzia viongozi wetu kuhusu zile agenda 10 ambayo ilikuwa inatuleta pamoja kama hizi vyama mbili. Moja ya hizo agenda was inclusivity. Na mimi baada ya wiki moja ama mbili, I saw a list of PSS that showed me that kumbe we were now pushing forward the agenda of inclusivity. Niliona Fikirini Jacobs from Kilifi, a 27-year-old. Niliona Umo Lugahia. Niliona Pareno kutoka kule Kajiado. I saw people from the mountain and people from the lake. Congratulations to our leaders for moving forward that agenda within the agreement we had. Na sisi tulisema ya kwamba tutaunga mkono because our leader sisi as a party is Raila Amolo Odinga. Na sisi huwa tunasema baba akisema left ni left, na akisema right na akisema fire, tuko tayari. Na hiyo ndio kwa sababu this broad-based arrangement tunaunga mkono kikamilifu without apologizing about it. Because it is about unity of Kenya, it is about inclusivity of Kenya, it is about leaving no part of this country behind. Mwisho, unajua mama akiwachana na baba, sisi tulifikiria ni kina mama wanaongea sana kwa hii maneno. Mimi nimeona ili wangonika chiasa Gosoga Chagwa anakaa kama mama. Wakati alikuwa na mzee, alikuwa anasema huyu mzee ndiyo yeye, huyu ndiyo ndume, hata akiona ukipita pale kwa fence anakutupia mawe. Lakini wakati mambo inaharibika, huyu mama anafunga stocking kwa kichwa, kabla hata hajapiga mswaki, ameamuka asubuhi, anaenda kwa barasa. Anasema huyu mzee ni bure kabisa. Hata hawezi kuzunguka uwanja mara 8, anazunguka mara 1, anakaa namna hii, anakaa namna ile. Hii sasa ni vitu bure kabisa. Asanteni sana na Mungu awabariki.
Thank you. Erokamana nya Gladys. Akene loro nyadiboro no to tiende ango. Mano to kisungu mane. Anadwa wacho matina henya nikech secha sedhi. Your Excellency the President, this man we are burying today was a freedom fighter. He was not just a security for Raila Amolo Odinga. George was a freedom fighter. And they have been shown the veterans who were arrested at that time and taken to committee for nearly a year. I am proud to say today that I acted for them when they were charged with murder. For 9 months, they were in committee. I've been to committee myself. It is not a hotel. And the reason why they were arrested was because at Central Park, a policeman, special branch, was killed at the Central Park near the Serena Hotel. And this policeman made the mistake because he was not in uniform. And people saw him draw a gun. So the crowd jumped on him and he was literally pulled apart and died a very painful death at Central Park. Now, instead of doing proper investigations, what the police did was to look at the people who attended that rally, and they were looking at people who were generally with Raila Amolo Odinga or Jaramogi at that time, and that is why they were arbitrarily arrested. Even my own driver, who is here, Michael Kuma, was also arrested. There's a young man I have known for years in the street, known as Dodd Kenyatta. He was there. Lumumba Owade, who had just spoken, was there. There were nearly 9 of them. Your Excellency, what helped that case was there was a policeman who recorded his statement in English. And then when we went to court, after he had been sworn to say the truth and nothing but the truth, when he was shown the statement and asked which language he was going to speak in, and he said he is going to speak in Swahili. Unfortunately, his statement was in English. So when I started asking him questions in English, the judge then, Okubasu, insisted that he must answer in English. That there cannot be a policeman who was a superintendent of police who did not understand the English language. So every time I put him a question and read his statement, all the time he was saying, hiyo si mambo yangu, mimi sikusema hiyo. So ujinga ya huyo polisi ndio ilifanya hawa wenzetu wakatoka katika jela. They were found innocent, but the worst thing is that they were charged with murder. And this man Oduor would have been hanged. And it was not just one day. Lumumba here, after 8 months, again he was arrested in Bungoma, and they said they had killed the son of the former member for Ebuye, Honorable Sambu. And I used to go to Bungoma every day, very early in the morning from Nairobi. 5 of them were charged during a by-election. Most of those young men died. The veterans who were taken to community, nearly 3 of them are dead. But what am I trying to say? And you have said it before at one time, that the weaponization of the criminal justice system should stop. The police should not be used to make up trumped up charges. This young man at that time, he was in prison for 9 months on trumped up charges because he was a freedom fighter, and that's why he was being arrested and charged with the offense of murder. And I thank God that policeman, he wrote a statement in English, but somebody wrote it for him. And then when he was being questioned in court, he said, no, he didn't know. There was a time when Jaramogi was called upon to go and give a statement at the CID concerning the death of Julie Ward. I think, Raila, you remember this because there's a young man who had gone into exile and had talked to Jaramogi. And Jaramogi made a statement. Instead of investigating that case, they now called Jaramogi to make the statement. And it was not an easy time at that time. So what I'm trying to say, let us build a society which is based on the Constitution and the rule of law. We can say many things. And me, I cannot be praise singing because we fought for a democratic constitution where people should talk. Where people should talk. Where people should talk. I was in parliament when people used to tell Moi that Moi hakuna mahali utaenda. You will be in power until the day you want to go. They told Moi, and I was in parliament at that time. There are only a few of us who said we cannot have this system of government. And Raila was the head at that time when Jaramogi had died, that we do not want that system of government. So I am asking you Kenyans, this constitution that we fought for, it is a very difficult document to keep. And if you keep on, song praising all the time, we will not have a country. So I urge you, tell your leaders the truth. Tell your leaders the truth. And know that even when, President, when you came here the first time, I was the only one who was here. I was the only one. I was here because I was convinced that institutions must work. A lot of my, even Otiende here said he cannot come. I tried to persuade him. I was here alone with you because I don't praise, song praise. I believe that you are the president and we are going to talk. So this country will go to the dogs again if the kind of language I'm hearing here, you continue with that language. Please, when you have something being brought to Siaya, it is a matter of right. It is not being, you are being given, it's a matter of right. It's a matter of right. And I cry. When I was in Parliament, I was the only backbencher. I was here with Omamo, I was with Okero, there were other people like Okwanyo, and they used to tell me that you must be in government. All of us cannot be in government. Just fight for your right. Just fight for your right. And you'll have a better country. Asante sana kwa hayo machache. I call upon Raila Amolo Odinga to come and speak.
Hallelujah.
Haya, naweza kuketi. Your Excellency, Mheshimiwa William Samoei Ruto, the President of the Republic of Kenya, the governors, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, hamjambo. Hamjambo tena. Yes. I first want to begin by thanking everybody who has come here today to help us do a send-off to George Nyangira Oduor. It is very, very painful and it's very difficult for me to talk about George. But first let me begin by bringing condolences from Mama Aida, my wife, who cannot be here today because she's on a mission in Korea. That's why she's not here. George is a part of our family. And you see, it is now 10 years since I lost our first son, Fidel. And now George is gone. It's so painful indeed. If you say somebody is ready to take a bullet for you, George, I've known few people who can be as committed and dedicated like this young man. We have had, as they have said, a very difficult time. Sometimes George is a very cool person and very intelligent, very observant. You think he's a fool when he's next to you, but he's thinking very deeply. So when he comes and tell you, this place is not safe, let's get out, you must get out very quickly. So it is very painful indeed. George worked for me. He did not work for Jaramogi. Just very briefly, Jaramogi was very briefly around there. When we recruited George, we sent him for training to South Africa. And in South Africa he trained and was top of his class as a security officer. You can see his reports. Later on we sent him to Israel. Again, he trained in Israel for 3 months on security. If you look at his report, very, very, very exemplary. So he was a very highly trained officer. He even trained in the United States. He knows how to sense trouble. He feels it and he wants you. This is going to happen. This is going to happen. So we knew each other so closely, so well with George, and we've traveled around the world with him. Of the 7 continents, We've been George to 5 continents, except Arctic and Antarctica. It's been all of those places. And is so familiar with many other things. When you go to a place within a short period of time, he has moved around and he has scouted and know where the danger is. So it is painful. But the other people we have seen here, they call the veterans. Veterans, wasimame. Those people there. Hello? Veterans, fungeni mkono. These are the people who have been with us. There's very many, they are battle hardened. Asanteni sana. Ni hao watu ambao wamekuwa pamoja na George throughout all this period of time. So we have lost a son in our family, and we are very sad indeed. Mama Carol here has kept George. She has looked after George very well. George was all the time very smartly dressed when he came to work. Thanks to Carol. Yeah. So I thank all of you for coming here today. Now today is not my day to make a long speech. I don't want to make a speech. But why don't we say hivi? Kenya hii iko hapa na itabaki. Dunia ni daima, lakini binadamu haishi dunia daima. Kwa hivyo Kenya ni moja peke yake. Mpaka tulinde Kenya, na vile vile tubadilishe Kenya. Na Kenya italindwa na itabadilishwa na Wakenya, si mtu wengine. Kwa hivyo Wakenya mpaka wasimame pamoja. Yale ambayo tutaki ni ubaguzi. Ubaguzi ya kijinsia, ubaguzi ya rangi, ubaguzi ya kikabila, ubaguzi ya huyu ni mzee, huyu ni kijana, huyu ni mama, huyu ni mlemavu. Hatutaki. Tunataka kuunganisha Kenya wawe kama kitu kimoja. Hiyo ni muhimu sana. Pili, neno yangu la pili, Junet tayari amesema. Tulipigania kwa nguvu na dhati tupate katiba mpya. Kuna watu wengi ambao walikuwa hawataki katiba mpya. Sana sana walikuwa napinga sana mambo ya ugatuzi. Ugatuzi. Mmoja akatuambia ati watu wengine wanaitwa governors. To govern what? Kwa hivyo ugatuzi ilikuwa na maadui wengi zaidi. Ndio sababu kuna zingine ambayo hatukuweka. Kuna zingine ambazo ziko katika ile bomas ya kwanza draft, lakini ziko katika hii katiba ambayo tuko nayo sasa siku leo. Hii katiba is still work in progress, lakini ugatuzi ilikuwa muhimu zaidi. But devolution is not working. But devolution is still not working properly. If devolution were allowed to work properly, you will see the fruits of devolution. Go to Germany and see how a devolved system works. Very, very efficient indeed. You know, we did not, for example, devolve education. But in most of devolved systems, education is devolved up to secondary school. The reason why we did not devolve devolution was because of NAT. NAT walipinga wakasema ati NAT itakufa kama devolution education is devolved. Tutamobilize walimu kupinga hiyo katiba. That's why we did not devolve education. But even if it is not devolved, Mr. President, it can be delegated. Some funds can be delegated. See, that is not there. If they opposed the devolution of education system. But even the other one, infrastructure. Your Excellency, I'm the one who was Minister for Roads and Public Works came up and created these agencies, Kenya, Kura, and Kera. Because of the bureaucracy at that time, things were so centralized. Under the Ministry of Education, the permanent secretary is the accounting officer. Things were very inefficient, were not working. So the World Bank, we worked together and created these agencies. But that was under a unitary system of government. With a devolved government, there's no need for Kura and Kera. Kura and Kera should be under the counties. It does not make any sense that somebody is sitting in Nairobi and has got roads in Mombasa town. Somebody is sitting in Nairobi and has got roads in Kisumu which cannot be touched by the government. Within Nairobi town itself, city itself, so many roads there are not under Nairobi county government. They're under national government. That's why it's so inefficient. It's so inefficient. Let us devolve funds to the counties. And as I was told the MPs, and they disagree. CDF, national government, give that CDF national government, but to the counties, not the MPs. Full levy. Members of Parliament, Your Excellency, have no business concerning roads. The role of members of Parliament is clearly stated. Representation, legislation, and oversight. How do you oversight when you yourself are actually implementing? Those funds should go to the counties. And if the governors mess up with those things, then we deal with the governors themselves. But they don't tie the hands of governors. And then MPs go and say, mimi ndio nimejenga barabara hii, pia nimejenga barabara hii, nimejenga shule hii, niko hospitali hii, governor hajafanya chochote. Because the governor has not been given the money. Give the money to the governors. Let devolution work properly. And that's why I say that if they don't do it, we will make it an election subject. Campaign properly against the members of Parliament. So that members of Parliament should allow governors to do their work and then do oversight, which is your constitutional duty. That is what I wanted to say today. I don't want to make a long speech. My brother, Mheshimiwa Rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya, karibu ongea na watu wako.
Aya, asanteni sana, tafadhali tuketi. Mama Karen, mjane wa rafiki yetu George Oduor, Mheshimiwa Raila Odinga, kiongozi wetu wa chama ya ODM na Prime Minister wa Republic of Kenya, viongozi wote wengine, wananchi wa hapa Siaya, hamjambo. Amoso Uchodurua, Nyasaye ber, Sejete, Bwana Yesu asifiwe. Asanteni sana. Kwanza mimi nataka nichukue nafasi hii on behalf of the government of Kenya and on my own behalf and my family to bring condolences to Mama Karen and the family of George Oduor, a man we have come here to celebrate today.
And I have come here not because George is elected in any capacity or wields any public position, but I have come here because George has demonstrated beyond any doubt that he is a Kenyan who has demonstrated competence as a security officer. He has demonstrated competence and integrity as a confidant, and he has shown immeasurable loyalty as a Kenyan patriot entrusted with the security, especially that of the Honorable Raila Odinga. And therefore, on behalf of many Kenyans, we have come here to celebrate a man, a competent police officer, a confidant with great integrity, and a loyal patriot as a security officer of the Republic of Kenya. And George, though being a very humble security officer, and because I believe very strongly in the bottom-up principle, that's why I have come here to celebrate this humble person who has demonstrated great loyalty, integrity, and competence. So, to the family, Mama Karen, tumekuja hapa kumwenzi huyu shujaa, mtu ambaye alijitolea. It is very difficult when I saw the comments of our Prime Minister about George, that he was a person you can entrust with many things, including money. You know how difficult it is to trust people with money. This is one person that Prime Minister could trust with many things, including money. And therefore, we have come here to celebrate a man of integrity, a competent police and security officer, and a man we all celebrate. Allow me to use this occasion of George, because I also came to know George as a member of ODM then. And we were in many places together. And somebody said here, I benefited also from his security services, and that is true. Whenever we went to situations as members of ODM that time, George was on hand, and many of the people I have seen here, including Lumumba, who I thought was a security officer, I now know that he is an elected MCA. And allow me to use this occasion to thank my elder brother, the Honorable Raila Odinga. I have come a very long way with the Honorable Raila Odinga. And I want to stand here today and to say, I did not know that the man I stood by and gave my all at a moment in my life, we would eventually become competitors, and that he would eventually come and anchor my leadership. And so, the Honorable Prime Minister, I want to tell you, I am truly grateful that just the same way I stood with you when you needed a man to stand with you, you have equally come to stand with me when I needed a man to stand with me. I am truly grateful. And I want to say this for the avoidance of any doubt, that when Baba here came to stand with me, it was not about him. It was not about his interests. It was not about parochial or sectarian or narrow interest. It was about the greater interest of Kenya. And history is going to judge the Honorable Raila Odinga fairly, that whenever there is an opportunity to stand for the nation, he has always stood for the nation. The Honorable Raila Odinga, I am very, very proud that our paths crossed and we have come this journey together. Let me say this to all of us. In this journey of nation building, everybody has a contribution to make in different ways. I am happy that today I am the leader of this broad-based government that I agreed with my brother Raila Odinga. And broad-based is not about the interests of any one of us. It's not about the interest of Baba here or my personal interest. It's about the interest of 50 million Kenyans. And I will say this without any fear of contradiction, that because of our coming together, because of forging this relationship that has stabilized the country, that has created inclusivity, eliminated the things that divide us and the negative ethnicity that threatens our country, today we can proudly say our economy is stable. The dollar, which was at 160, is now at 129 shillings. Inflation, which was at 9.6%, is now at 3.5% because we have come together and we are working together. I can proudly say, without fear of any contradiction, that whether it is our electricity, and I am very proud of what Opiyo Wandayi has said. Today, we have resources spread around Kenya. DCI alone has 1.2 billion shillings to connect